I have started my creative agency when I was 23 years old. 2 years in and I've been blessed to be on some big production shoots, work with some amazing clients and just observe the industry in and out. But as a young entrepreneur, throughout the way, I faced a lot of failures, challenges, obstacles, you name it. And to find answers, I would go on the internet and try to consume content, watch some videos and see how other people are doing it. But what I found is that 90% of this content was mainly tips and tricks on how to use camera, how to run social media, how to run digital ads, etc. It was missing depth, actual conversation, somebody taking me behind the scenes and showing the actual process, how it looks like. I really wanted to see what those creative people and entrepreneurs are struggling with, how they do stuff, what they think. And this is what I'm trying to do in this series of videos. I run a creative agency and I have a travel project that I'm going to today. So I want to show you behind the scenes of what I do and how it actually looks like from inside, the process, the conversation. No more yapping, let's go on a trip. Alright, so I'm currently packing and I just want to show you this basically suitcase for video production. It's called Think Tank right here, and it's basically, it fits all your big stands and it has those little pockets as well. So I'm bringing a tripod tomorrow. I'm just gonna put it in, and then it's gonna be like a conference setting, so I don't want to be on a gimbal all the time because there's gonna be a lot of talking and stuff, so I'm bringing a monopod. And so basically they fit perfectly next to each other. Then I have another little tripod, I just kind of travel tripod I bring with me, and then I'll just put some clothing here, some shoes, and we'll be good. Another advice, if you want to get into video production, your gear will start accumulating really quick. This is literally as minimal setup as it gets, so just make sure you have enough storage for the stuff that you're gonna buy. And another thing I always bring traveling with me is my Pelican. Alright, now just gonna pack my clothes, charge all the gear, make sure I'm ready for tomorrow, and then flying at 12:30 p.m. So once I'm at the airport, I'll sit down and basically tell you a little bit more about the project, where we're going, and all of this fun stuff. Also got this Pilot Institute t-shirt. Basically, if you want to fly a drone commercially, you need a Part 107 license. And I used Pilot Institute, it's not sponsored or anything, just sharing a resource. And they have a really nice course. It costs around $150 to $200, but it's a really nice interactive course that you can just go over really quick. It took me like 10 to 14 days to learn everything, and then I passed the exam. I got 90% score, and that's why I got a free t-shirt. So yeah, they are pretty good and just a good resource. Let's keep packing, take some sleep, and go to the airport. Alright, it's morning, just finished packing, and kind of just want to show you how it looks. So we're bringing three things. This is a carry-on, this is a checked bag, and right there the backpack is going to be a personal item. And those Pelicans are great because they have all those dividers, and basically we're bringing FX3, FX30, we're bringing 28 to 105, 16 to 28, and 17 to 70 for the cropped, which is FX30. We have two V-mount batteries here, it's gonna be long shoot days. We have some mics, the monitor, and then it's not always looking that pretty and packed and organized, but today I did a pretty good job. Right here in a check bag we have our heavy sticks, and then we have some of the clothing, and then just some more accessories, and I usually put like toothpaste and all that stuff here. And lastly we have a backpack. I put a gimbal here, just some chargers, all of this. I have a drone as well inside. And the last thing that will go there is laptop and SSDs. And while I have a few minutes right here, I have some short form videos for myself that I need to review that my editor was working on. So I just want to review them right now, and I want to show you the systems we have built for this. So first of all, we have those different folders, and basically we have raw footage where I upload raw footage, and then needs approval where the editor sends the videos once it needs an approval, and then approved, which is obviously once the video is done, it just goes here for distribution. So currently, since we need to check them, it goes to needs approval, and there's all those videos that I'm going to be reviewing right now. So I took some notes, done with checking the videos, and now gonna go grab some breakfast and head to the airport, and that's where I want to sit down and kind of bring you in about the project and what we're doing. Alright, so I tried to find a pretty quiet spot at the airport to talk to you for a second, and I think we got one. So 2 questions to answer as I have 10 minutes before my flight. One is what's the project, where I'm going, all of this stuff. But the second one is really what's the purpose of this vlog? What's the purpose of me showing you kind of behind the scenes of what I'm doing? And I want to start with the second one to kind of set the tone for the entire series. So to give you a short answer why is I'm still trying to figure it out. My main goal is to take people behind the scenes and show how the video production world, how running the media production company looks from behind the scenes, behind the curtain. When I watch videos like this, when I watch other entrepreneurs grow and show how they do stuff, it always inspires me and it builds that trust level towards them. So I think I'm kind of striving towards the same thing. For the people who watch this vlog, for you guys, I'm trying to build that trust level between us, but also provide you value, show what it looks like to basically be a growing entrepreneur, to basically run a creative agency and do video production. And what I want to include is, as I've already mentioned, behind the scenes. So basically small tips and tricks that I use that other people might not be aware of. Basically, how do you do video production? So sharing some of that stuff. But also how do I deal with clients, how traveling looks like, all of this, and tell you a little bit more about me. And now the second thing is where we're going. Flying out to Newport Beach in California, and it's gonna be a project for a filmmaker from Florida. And basically he built this very interesting offering where he works with the high-level interior designers and architects and builders, and he creates those beautiful docu-series for them. So it's like documentary, 3 to 5 part documentaries. And I've actually been in a lot of his shoots as a camera operator and helping him with behind the scenes. But now there's going to be an interior designer event in California in the hotel, and there's going to be a lot of speakers, and I think he's going to be speaking there. So basically we have all his clients and potential clients being there, and he really wants to create project highlight behind the scenes content for him, how he interacts with those interior designers that basically will establish his authority in this design world and show all his potential clients that, hey, like, you know, I hang out in those circles, I belong here. And basically it builds the trust level because his potential clients see, oh, like he's hanging out with all those people, like he knows his stuff, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here. This is kind of the very common problem in the video production industry, that all the video production people produce those like beautiful film, those beautiful documentaries, movies, whatever, but they never take care of the behind the scenes. And basically, when you talk to the potential clients, you show them your end work, but they don't really understand the value of it. So in order to educate them, why is it important, how much effort goes into this, why is the price tag that high, then behind the scenes is kind of key, because it really shows your potential client how much effort goes into creating a project, filming everything, ideating, scripting, all of this. And you can also educate your potential client, why is this important, why you should do this, and it builds the trust level. Anyways, it's going to be a 3-day event. I want to take you as much behind the scenes as I can. Obviously, I'm going to be working, so I'll see how much time I have to do that. Let's go catch a flight. Alright, so I just landed in California, and while I walked to the baggage claim, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the media badge. So this little thing right here. Basically, if you're a media related person anyhow, there's no database. You can just create one in like Canva, Photoshop, and then go to any place and just print it out. And it gives you really cool perks at the airport and when you travel, especially if you travel a lot. Basically, one of the rules is a lot of times media bags are overweight, so they're over 40 or over 50 pounds, and usually airport would charge additional $100 for that, right? But with the media badge, there's a rule with different airlines that works differently, that airport can charge you only a flat fee. I think it's like $50, and your bag can be up to 100 pounds. So basically you can purchase a media bag, which is usually like just a little bit more expensive, but it gives you the ability to have this bag overweight and basically pay less. And another cool thing when it comes to media badge is some airlines will let you do pre-boarding, because sometimes their overhead bins are getting full, and since you do video production, you usually have your cameras, your batteries in your carry-on, so you have to get it on a plane. It cannot go in the cargo department. And basically sometimes you can go to the agent in front of the gate and say, hey, this is my media badge, I do media, can I request a pre-boarding so I can put my carry-on in the overhead bin? You don't even need to explain why, you can just request a pre-boarding, and for me 8 times out of 10, I'll receive a pre-boarding, and this is pretty sweet. And again, this media badge is fully for free, this is your ride, and basically just type what is media badge on the internet and you can learn more about it. This is the room that we're staying in. It's a pretty sweet hotel, but I definitely don't want you guys to fall under the impression that this is the stay that I get every time. But this time we have a beautiful view of California and the rooftop right here. And the hotel here is pretty nice as well. Okay, before I start unpacking and settling down, I just quickly want to walk you through what's going to be happening tonight. We have a happy hour with all the guests from 5 to 7, and it's going to be on that outside patio. It's going to be beautiful there. And we're going to have a nice sunset, all the guests talking, mingling around. And this is going to be perfect for what I like to call money shots. And as far as what we're shooting, it's not going to be like super information heavy. We kind of looking for those money shots. So like super nice cinematic B-roll of everyone hanging out, sunset. We're gonna fly a drone a little bit here. And if you're trying to create cinematic content, it's kind of important to find 1, 2, 3 scenes that you can really like film a lot out of, and you know that's gonna be a best setting possible, and you can use them as your money shots. So basically they're really gonna build the cinematic side of the story. That's pretty much it. We're gonna be on the gimbal for this. We're gonna fly a drone a little bit here, as I've mentioned. And then there's an ocean right there. We have about 2-3 hours before the happy hour starts, and I'm just gonna, there's some form of mall here, so I'm just gonna go grab some food, then work on the edit a little bit more, and then we're gonna go shoot. And that's kind of the thing, as the business owner, you're just gonna multitask. I mean, you need to talk to the team, do some of the work, communicate with the client, and you know, it just, some of that stuff needs to happen at the same time. Thank you so much. Alright, so we are exporting the edit, it's all done, and now I'm just gonna get ready for the happy hour and start prepping the gear. It's time for us to build our gear, and as I'm gonna put together a gimbal and a camera, I'm just gonna talk to you guys a little bit. So, as I've mentioned before, for this happy hour, we're really looking just to get kind of nice cinematic shots. To keep it simple, and since it's one-man operation today, I'm just gonna stay on a gimbal, attach the bottom tripod. And with the gimbal, I really like that kind of back, I think it's called sling handle, and you just attach it to the side, and that way you don't need to hold your gimbal like this. You can kind of hold it like this, and it's a little easier for your back. Alright, now let's build the camera. I'm using Sony FX3. Let's get some dust out of it. When you're getting dust out of the camera, keep the camera like sensor down, so that way the dust can fall down. And for the lens, as I mentioned, this is 28 to 105 2.8 by Sigma. It's pretty heavy lens, one of the heaviest lenses I've used. It's pretty much the weight of 70 to 200, but it's amazing because it lets you basically cover like the entire distance from the wide 28 to the close-ups 105. And the last thing for the camera, what I'll do is I'll put an ND filter on the lens. If you don't know what ND filter is, it's kind of like a sunglasses. So as you can see, it gets brighter and then it can get darker. So if you're shooting in a sunny environment and we kind of gonna have a shoot outside, like that ND filter is a must-have because it can block some of that sunlight and make our shots better exposed. Now enjoy the time lapse of me balancing the gimbal. Alright, it's built. As I mentioned, we're gonna fly a drone, so packing my drone as well. And additionally, in the backpack I put some sets of extra batteries, some extra microphones if we need to do any interviews, and this is what we're playing with today. And lastly, I'm gonna put my Ray-Ban smart glasses, and they have like the little camera right here, so if I'll not be able to record a lot of stuff with the Osmo, DJI Osmo that I'm recording this vlog with, I'm gonna get some behind the scenes with glasses for sure. Let's get it.
I'm just getting an established shot over the window. It looks beautiful, Alan. So the clip. And one thing to keep in mind, if you're a solo shooting event like this, you need to understand that you're limited. Like, you cannot get like everything, so you need to be pretty selective with your shots. The best advice to cover everything is to get few establishing wide shots, get few mid-ranges, and get few tight shots. So basically think about everything you need to put the edit together and try to get it, because you have a limited time and you're only one person shooting, and then I also need to fly drones. So gotta be mindful about what you're shooting. Alright, done with the drone. When it comes to the drone, you're always gonna have such a beautiful shots during the sunset. You know, and especially in California, I mean, it's hard to beat this because you have beautiful ocean, you have golf courses and beautiful hotels. So really amazing drone session, super happy with the shots we got. And now we're gonna go back to the happy hour and see what's going on there, because you don't want to focus too much on one thing, because I mean, the drone shots were so beautiful. I can fly them for like another hour, but I know that there's a lot of stuff going on back at the hotel, so I need to go from that.
Alright, so just got done with the first production day. We just had few hours at the end of the day when we were shooting the happy hour, and that's kind of what the focus was on. Now I'm just gonna go dump the footage, back it up, and tomorrow we have a full production day from 8 to 9, so 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And basically it's gonna be a lot of like conferences, a lot of talking, a lot of people taking notes. So this is gonna be kind of like mastermind camp. We're looking to cover the speakers, get some testimonials, cover the event. So kind of typical corporate project, but in a really nice environment. It's a beautiful hotel. I'm gonna insert some drone shots so you can see how nice it is here. But yeah, an absolute blessing to be able to work on a projects like this. And when you're hosting mastermind of this type and you're spending those thousands and thousands of dollars to bring people in, to rent the hotel, to cater the food, to do all the guest speakers and all of this, I mean, it kind of feels like a crime not to capture it with a video production and have that library of footage that you can use as a promotional material, like literally over the years. So if you have an important event coming up, if you are speaking on a stage, if you are hosting something, just get a video production person. It doesn't even need to be a video production agency, because they're probably going to charge a lot. They're going to deliver some great stuff, but if you can't afford this, try to get a videographer. They're usually a little bit cheaper, but they can still provide you a great service and a library of footage that you can use like literally over your entire life. Let's go get some rest and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Morning of day 2, I just came downstairs to grab some coffee and set up all the equipment. It's 7:40. I'll show you in a second how that conference room looks like where we're gonna shoot. But as I mentioned, today is gonna be a lot of sitting down, a bunch of speakers. I'll start on a gimbal because I want to get some like motion shots, they look great. And then I'll switch to monopod. Basically it's like a stick that you just put your camera on. It's gonna be a really long day. I need to preserve my energy and I just don't want to be with a gimbal entire day trying to hold it. When shooting long conference like this, and when you know that your team or you're gonna edit this, try to find the balance between shooting like literally the entire conference for like entire day and, you know, trying to find those moments that you know gonna be valuable for the edit. So for example, if you have like 1 hour speech, right? Most valuable moments of the speech that you're gonna use in the edit probably gonna be at the beginning when the person will introduce themselves and kind of just give the agenda of what's gonna happen, and then maybe to the middle and to the end to get 1 or 2 of those valuable sentences you can use in the edit. But that's pretty much it. You don't need to roll the entire length of the conference, unless you obviously have to for some other reason. Another thing, I was working on the edit for another project we were late yesterday, and we are collaborating with a team outside the state. So they're shooting footage and we are just editing it. And because for this project it's a really short turnaround, how do you get the footage from one person to another? There's obviously a few ways to do it. You can just upload the entire files to Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever. You can ship an SSD. But if you're on a tight deadline and the internet is not that great, the app that we used was called Shade. And Shade is basically a cloud-based solution where you can upload files to the cloud, and then directly from Shade you can drag them into your editing software and you don't necessarily even need to download them. So the process looks like the team that shoots the project uploads proxies to the cloud. Proxies are basically bad quality files that you can then transfer to the high quality files, so you can check it out. They upload proxies to the cloud, and us on the editing side, we can just drag those proxies directly into the editing software, then download them really quick if we need to, and basically start editing like this. So it really speeds up the process and makes it more convenient. Morning, Rick. Alright, so this is the conference room that we are dealing with. So kind of the basic hotel conference room, nothing crazy here. I set up one stationary camera that will just be rolling the speeches. It's really just for purposes to get the entire speech from one angle, and then we have a gimbal over there and a monopod that will be basically going around and getting some motions, more action shots. One thing before everyone else storms in that I want to walk you through is kind of what type of shots I'm looking for as far as covering the event like this. So first and foremost, keep in mind that all this kind of branding, posters, little postcards, little logos, all that you can see, people who hire you or hire an agency or your business put a lot of money and effort to create those and to put those on stage and around. So rule of thumb, even though it might not necessarily look that amazing, is to get some of those close-ups of branding, of logos. So I just want to show you a few things is that branding. So basically all those little boxes, all those banners, basically get a few shots of those because again, companies spend a lot of money to get all of this set up, and they would definitely want to make sure this branding appears on the video. Another thing, if there's a speaker right there, instead of just having a straight dead shot on a speaker all the time, I like to be creative. So basically think about the person sitting here, kind of shoot from over the shoulder of this person on a speaker, and that will create the illusion of the audience, so it's not like speaker just talking to an empty room, right? There's an audience. And besides that, don't focus purely on a speaker. Get some wide, medium, and tight shots of the audience, so basically their reactions, what they do, how they take notes. This kind of money shot of having somebody from the audience taking notes, because it always makes it to the edit. And after a few times when you edit those conferences yourself, you already know what type of shots you need to basically cover the entire thing. So we just got done with a long shooting day. It was 13 or 14 hours, I think, but in the video production world, that's how a lot of days are. I wouldn't say obviously every day, but a lot of projects go later, and I think the standard video production day counts from 10 to 12 hours. Anyways, the work needed to be done. It's not like every day of the month is the same. You know, I have this trip, we're spending 3 days in California, and then closer to the end of this month, we have another trip where we're going to North Carolina and kind of filming another interior design retreat. When you run a creative agency, a lot of people will give you split advice, whether you should niche down and just do videos for construction companies, for example. And some other people, like me, for example, would do video for all the different niches, right? I can do the brand story video for the construction company, but then apply my camera skills and my storytelling knowledge and basically cover the event like this for the interior design. But what happens a lot, if you do a project in specific industry, for example, interior design right now, right? Usually people see your work from here and they want to work more with you. I mean, obviously, if you do a good job, right? So you're starting to get more projects from the interior design, and all of a sudden, interior design projects is a big chunk of the funnel of my projects and a big chunk of revenue, right? And then also I do a lot of health and longevity stuff, and then some other stuff related to athletics. So it's really all around, but as you start doing more projects here, it kind of becomes 3 to 4 pillars that you constantly work on, and then all the other stuff is just additional things that are coming in. But if you do want to pick a niche and basically stick to one specific thing, just make sure that people in this niche have enough money to afford your services, because some niches are definitely less profitable. For example, restaurants are not that profitable. I mean, they are profitable, but they run really low margins, and you can attract only a certain amount of people into the restaurant, right? And some of the other people, like construction companies, if you make a video for the construction company that can help them to sell even one more project, I mean, they charge millions for their project. So they can easily spend thousands of dollars on your project because your project can help them attract a lot more money. Anyways, coming back today to what we filmed and why we filmed it. So we focused a lot on the speakers in the first half of the day because first of all, that was kind of the only thing going on in that conference room. But second of all, speakers are usually industry leaders, industry voices. So you really want to capture them for the promotion of the next event, for the recap of this event, because people are interested in what they have to say. So we capture some sound bites of them speaking. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you don't want to just film the speaker, you want to film reactions of the people, you want to film some close-ups of them taking notes, their face reactions, etc. Then we filmed a lot of round table action, so basically people sitting around the table and talking to each other, and the whole idea behind it is to show the sense of community, show the sense of support, basically networking, so people who are coming to this event, they can talk to other people in this event, and basically it creates that feeling that my questions are gonna get answered if I come here. So when promoting the event, like there's this a big selling point, right? That you will have people just like you in this room who are maybe one step above that you can ask all the questions. And at the end of the day, we went to this beautiful showroom that is a partner for this entire event, and they had those interior designers to look around at their products, and they also prepared a nice dinner at the end of the day, so it was a great dinner. And for the brand, the whole idea is to attract people to their showroom, and then interior designers, while they wait for the dinner and while they just mingle around, they see that brand products, they see the kitchen stuff, they see the appliances, and next time they see them in a showroom or they see them somewhere else, this memory of the dinner will pop in their head and they will think, oh, that brand actually takes care of its people. And as far as the filming there, we got some beautiful shots of making the food. I mean, it looks super cinematic. And then we try to really focus on that communication between interior designers. So basically, why would you come to this event? To talk to your peers, to talk to someone who is one level or two levels above you, and to really get all your questions answered. And to kind of summarize, this is what I wanted this video to be, to show you behind the scenes of how the project looks like, what it exactly entails, what are we shooting, and why are we shooting it. If you're a marketer, video production person running a creative agency, please leave any questions you have in the comments. I'm planning to do more of those behind the scenes, and I'm curious about your feedback. What do you want to see more? What do you want to see less, etc. I wish I showed you less of me talking, more behind the scenes, but obviously it gets complicated because I'm paying the full attention to actually me filming and doing the project, and filming this video comes as a secondary, but I still try to get some shots. Lastly, if you want to connect, I'll leave my social right here on the screen. Feel free to send me a message, follow. I post a lot of stuff there. And as I've said, there are small projects coming up. I'm planning to do this videos a little bit more, so make sure to follow, and I'll see you in the next one. The last thing I'll mention, to be transparent, there's 2 more days of this event, but it's going to be more of the same, so I don't want to just film the same stuff. And I kind of wanted to keep this vlog a little bit shorter to see how it turns out, so I'll see you in the next one.